My name's Keegan, and I live in Michigan with my parents. High school wasn't too bad for me. I met all kinds of people, and even made a few friends I hung out with outside of school. Most of our time was spent at the local community center, working out or playing basketball. During my freshman year, as summer approached, I was excited. I had plans to start driver training and pick up a small side job to earn some cash. Life was picking up. Around that time, I had a friend named Clayton. He was a year younger than me, still in junior high, but we hung out pretty often, about once a week. My dad and I even took him to a Detroit Pistons game once. It was his first game, and he was ecstatic. He loved basketball more than anyone I knew. But as I got busier with life, Clayton began to change. If I told him I wasn't free to hang out, he'd get moody or even angry. He had serious anger issues that I started noticing more often. I remember one day when I told him I had to clean the house and couldn't hang out. Later that day, I checked my phone and saw that he had removed me on Snapchat. I messaged him, asking why he was so upset. He claimed I was lying to avoid spending time with him. I'll admit, after a while, I did start making excuses to avoid him. He was becoming clingy and, frankly, annoying. Sometimes I'd say I already had plans or was going somewhere just to avoid seeing him. Then something happened that made my skin crawl. One evening, just after sunset, Clayton showed up at my apartment without warning. I was living on my own at the time. I asked why he hadn't messaged me first. He didn't answer, just stared at me with a blank expression before turning around and slowly walking away. That stare. It felt like he hated me, like I'd done something horribly wrong. I didn't talk to him the next day. I even turned off my Snap Map so he couldn't see where I was. He eventually added me back, but nothing changed. He was still the same moody, controlling, angry if I didn't make time for him. Then one day, my friend Nick messaged me. Nick didn't live nearby, so we rarely saw each other. But he knew Clayton and, more importantly, he knew Clayton's ex-girlfriend. What he told me made my heart drop. Clayton had held a knife to his ex-girlfriend's throat and sexually assaulted her. That was all I needed to hear. I removed Clayton from every platform immediately. Before I could block him on Instagram, he bombarded me with messages, asking why I was removing him. I lied and said I needed time to myself and would add him back later. I never did. A few nights later, my parents went to a nearby town for dinner with old friends, leaving me alone. 9 p.m., I heard a knock at my apartment door. I checked the peephole, no one was there. I opened the door just slightly, looked down the hallways, till no one. I figured it was some kid pulling a prank and brushed it off. But later that night, I glanced out my bedroom window. The porch light near the sidewalk was burnt out. Out of the corner of my eye, I caught a small flash, like a reflection. At first, I thought it came from a car, but then I saw him. A tall figure standing directly in front of my window. It was Clayton. I opened the window just enough to speak and told him to leave. I said I didn't want to see him and that he needed to go. He didn't move. He said he wanted to come in and tell me something. I said no. Then I saw him shift slightly, and that's when I noticed it. Something in his hand. He raised it slowly. It was a knife. My blood ran cold. I shouted that I was calling the police, and before I could even finish dialing, he was already gone. The cops arrived shortly after. I gave them the best description I could, but I never heard anything about him again. It was like he vanished. I don't know what he was planning to do that night, but I'm convinced it wasn't anything good. I think he came to kill me, or at least hurt me. If I hadn't cut him off when I did, I might have ended up as just another one of his victims. To this day, that night remains one of the most terrifying moments of my life. Being home alone only made it worse. I still think about that look on his face, that stare, and wonder what would have happened if I hadn't locked that window.